Did you know that the #1 engine repair issue in Jeep's 3.6 Pentastar V6 is the valve train? And of those valve train issues, most of them seem to be related to lack of oiling, or maybe even no oiling due to dry startups. Yeah, that's right, dry startups. And that's because in their oil filter and oil cooler assembly, there is not an anti-drainback valve in here, keeping the oil primed to the upper part of the engine. Now you may recognize this part here. This is your oil filter cap, and you're gonna unscrew this to pull your filter out to change it. Well, then we have our oil filter bowl, and that goes back into our oil cooler. Now this whole assembly rides down in the valley of the V6, and it's underneath your intake manifold, so you don't really see a lot of it except for up here. And as mentioned before, there is no oil drainback valve in here that's keeping this whole assembly and the areas up above on the engine filled with oil. So about 35 minutes after you shut that engine off, the oil is going to drain out of this oil filter bowl, it's going to drain out of your oil cooler and the surrounding areas, and it's going to drain back to the oil pan. And then each time you start it up, that oil pump has to lift the oil back up and fill throughout the top part of the engine, including this filter bowl and the oil cooler. And that takes about 3.5 seconds to get the oil to where it's needed to go. Now that may not seem like a lot, and it's probably not going to cause a catastrophic failure today or tomorrow. But you can imagine that dry startup day after day, month after month, well, it can affect the longevity of your engine. But don't worry, there is a fix. This is the Baxter Performance spin-on oil filter adapter, and it replaces your OE oil filter cartridge. It screws down in place, locks in place, and then a spin-on filter goes right on top. Now this is going to make your oil filter changes a lot easier, but more importantly, there's a check valve in the center here, and that's going to keep the top end of the engine all primed with oil. It's not going to drain back down, so no more dry starts, and that's going to help maximize your engine's longevity. The Baxter Performance spin-on oil filter adapter is precision machined from billet aluminum and is anodized for long life. It uses Viton O-rings, and it's all made right here in the USA. There are no wear items, so there's nothing to service. And best of all, these are easy to install.